This is once again Hariva Prasad Damarla, a retired Deputy General Manager from BSNL and ex-adjunct professor, EC Department, PSCMR College of Engineering and Technology, Vijayawada, AP. So this is the third part in series on GSM architecture. So we will continue with our discussion on GSM architecture. Handoff umbrella cell concept. How umbrella concepts will address the handoff issues of high-speed users we will discuss. In a heavily used road, mobile users in high-speed vehicles cross an area where there are lots of microcells. So you consider a town or city. In a town or city, there will be few heavily used roads where the users may be moving in high-speed vehicles. So therefore, they have to cross more number of micro cells or micro base stations. In such case, how to address the load on the network for handovers. This is what we are going to discuss. This necessitates lots of handovers as people cross the road. This is handled by umbrella cells and thereby reduce the too much of handovers and load on the network. This umbrella concept will address too much of handovers and therefore the load on the network. This concept mainly addresses different types of users like non-moving, pedestrians, and users moving in high-speed vehicles. Umbrella concept will address the issues of different users. The user may be non-moving, though he is a mobile user. He may not be moving, he is stationary. And the user may be a pedestrian who is moving slowly. And the user may be moving in very high-speed vehicles. So we have three different scenarios in which your mobile network has to function in a systematic manner. Umbrella cell. In practical cellular mobile systems, several problems arise while designing for a wide range of mobile velocities. So because the velocities of the users may be non-moving, pedestrians, or users moving in high-speed vehicles. So they have different velocities. So we have to address the requirement of all these types of users. High-speed vehicles pass through the coverage area within seconds, whereas stationary bar pedestrian users may never need a handoff during a call. So high-speed users, they pass the coverage area, say a heavily loaded road of say some 8 to 10 kilometers, they may pass within no time. But in case of stationary or pedestrian users, so they may be mostly confined to the same BTS or same sector. So wherein the handover may not necessary, or even handover is necessary, it is very less. The handovers requirement is negligible. Particularly with the addition of microcells to provide more capacity, the MSC is burdened when high-speed users are constantly passing between these small size cells, generally to provide better coverage and to take care of the densely populated, densely used locations. We adopt for small cells. So in case of high-speed users moving in high-speed vehicles, so the MSC is loaded or burdened with more number of the requirement of handovers and more load. The cellular concept provides additional capacity through addition of cell sites. So we have to provide more sites as the capacity and the requirement increases. In practice, it is difficult for mobile service providers to obtain new site locations, particularly in urban localities. So as the requirement of cell sites increases with the increase of the users, so the telecom service provider, he has to provide more number of sites, more base stations. So he has to acquire more site locations. But it is very difficult in urban areas to acquire a new site. Apart from the issue what we have discussed about the difficulty in acquiring more number of sites, and there are some local issues, and the mobile operators may resort to installing another base station at the existing base station to address the traffic needs. So there may be certain local issues like getting permissions from local authorities for installing your base stations, and there may be some objections from the general public in view of the radiation effects. So what mobile operators, they try to address the increasing traffic needs is to install another base station at the same location. Let us assume location A, there is a base station. Suppose the traffic requirement has increased. So at the same location, another base station 2 will be installed with some more frequencies. And technically speaking, there are two base stations, base station 1 and base station 2. Both are located at the same site, physically located at the same sites. Technically, they are two different sites with their own frequencies. Another solution is by using different antenna heights, often on the same building bar tower, and different power levels. The base station with antennas at higher level, for example, say 40 meter, transmits at high power, say 40 watts. When compared to other co-located base station with antennas at lower level, say 25 meter, and transmitting at relatively low power, say 20 watt. With this technique, it is possible to provide large and small cells which are co-located at a single location. So what we are doing, because we are finding it difficult to obtain new sites, at one base station location, we will install another base station. But what the technique we adopt here is, so you will have one base station which will be transmitting at high power, and the antennas are located at higher level. So here I have given an example. So this 40 meter, one major base station will be having antennas. They will be radiating at 40 meter height with a high power 40 watts. So it will cover more distance because of the height of the antenna. At the same time, the power it is transmitting. So the second base station antennas are located at lower level, for example at 25 meters, and it will transmit at low power. So one is a high power base station which will have more coverage, large coverage, and the other one which is co-located will have small coverage because of the antenna heights as well as the power transmitted. This approach is called umbrella cell approach and is used to provide large coverage area for high-speed users while providing small coverage area to users traveling at low speeds as indicated in the next slide. So because this approach is popularly known as umbrella cell approach, which provides large coverage area for high-speed vehicles by means of high power transmitter and a small coverage area to low speed users, low speed moving users or stationary users. So which is depicted in the next slide. Now here you see all are micro cells, as a matter of fact, small cells with small antennas. Say for easy understanding, let us assume they are all transmitting at 20 or 25 meter at 20 watt or 25 watts. So there is another, this is the, let us assume this is the central cell for this area. So here you are having another base station, so with the antenna height of say 40 meter. So it will be transmitting at high power, say for example 40 watts. So this high power transmitter with antennas at higher level will provide more coverage area. This is the coverage area. So it will cover all the micro cells. So large umbrella cell for high speed traffic, small micro cells for low speed traffic or pedestrians or for non-moving mobile users. Same thing it is explained here. The centrally located cell is provided with a low powered base station with antennas at lower height, as well as a high powered base station with antennas mounted at higher height. So this central cell, for example, he has taken. So one is low powered transmitter, the other one is high powered transmitter. Both are located at the same site, physically at the same site. It may be on the same building, it may be on the same tower, ground-based tower. The high-powered BS base station represents macro cell and the low-powered BS represents micro cell. So one is a macro cell, covers more area, other one is a micro cell which covers smaller area. High-powered BS takes care of users of high-velocity vehicles and the low-powered BS takes care of users like stationary, pedestrians and slow-moving vehicles. So high-powered base station will address the requirement of the high-speed vehicles without any handover. From here to say up to this point, no handover is required. So within the same base station covered by this is served. So these micro cells, they will take care of the low speed users or pedestrians or non-moving users. This resolves the issue of frequent handovers in case of users moving in high-speed vehicles and thereby reduces the load on the network. So this approach of umbrella concepts where one high power transmitter and one low power transmitters are co-located at the same base station will resolve the issue and reduce the load on the network as far as a handover is concerned. Then, having understood something about the umbrella concepts, now we will move to the another topic is GSM structure. So we will try to understand what is GSM structure. Every telephone network needs a well-designed structure in order to route an incoming call to the correct exchange and finally to the correct call subscriber. The ultimate aim of providing telephone network, this mobile network, is you have to connect the calling subscriber to the called subscriber in the correct exchange or in the correct base station and to the correct called subscriber to whom you have made a call. In mobile network, this structure is of great importance because of the mobility of all its subscribers. So it is having lot of importance as far as the mobile network is concerned because the users are mobile users, they are on move. In the GSM system, the network is divided into the following apportioned areas. So the GSM network is divided into different parts or areas. One is the BTS coverage area, which we call it as cell. Then there is another area known as location area, okay, which covers a number of base stations area. Then other area is PLMN service area, public land mobile network service area, the area covered by a GSM service provider, one telecom service provider who is providing GSM or mobile service. Then GSM service area, this is the entire area covered by all the service providers put together. Irrespective of the service provider, what is the area covered by GSM service? Anyhow, we will study one by one and try to understand. So look this figure. So this is the BTS cell area. This is the area covered by this one. This is the area covered by the location area. So such cells, many cells are located in an area. This is called location area. And so many location areas are served by one MSC with VLR. This is called MSC bar VLR area. Then such MSCs will cover a geographic area like almost a country. So this is called public land mobile network service area. So the area covered by a mobile service provider. This is the GSM area. This includes the GSM area covered by all the service providers put together. So this service provider, if you take one service provider, he may not be having the service in the entire country. So some states it may not be having service, but some other operator may be having in those missing states. So the entire area, say for example, entire India, entire country covered with GSM network is known as GSM service area. So we will try to understand one after the other. Cell. Cell is the basic service area and one BTS covers one cell area. So the area covered by BTS is known as cell. Each cell is given a cell global identity CGA, a number that uniquely identifies the cell. Each BTS will have one unique number which is known as cell global identity indicator or identity CGI. LA, a group of cells form a location area. So group of cells, they form a location area. This is the area that is paged when a subscriber gets an incoming call. Each location area is assigned a location identity LAI. Each location area is served by one or more base station controllers, or one base station may serve more than one location area. So it can be both way also. So location area, if you take one location area, so it may be served by one BSC or maybe two BSCs. Or conversely also it is possible, one BSC can cover more than one location areas, or one location area and a second location area also. So these location areas will have one identity which is known as location area identity LAI. So this LAI plays an important role when an incoming call is coming to a user within the location area. So within the BTS is secondary. First it has to find out when there is one incoming call is coming, in which area this user, the called party is located. Then it has to locate the base station into which he is connected. Then the other one is MSC bar VLR service area. Here we said MSC bar VLR. Wherever MSC is there, we understood VLR is co-located. The area covered by one MSC called the MSC bar VLR service area. As I have shown here, the area covered by all the base stations of a particular MSC bar VLR. PLMN, the area covered by one network operator is called PLMN, Public Land Mobile Network. A PLMN can contain one or more MSCs. In a PLMN, so it may have one or more MSCs. So generally in industry, a PLMN may consist of so many MSCs. If you take a country like India, for each and every service provider. This is service provider wise coverage area. Then GSM service area, the area in which a subscriber can access the GSM network. So as I told you earlier, so irrespective of the telecom service provider, the area in which GSM service available is GSM service area. So PLMN is the subset of GSM service area. Then we will try to understand some more details about cell bar BTS coverage area. A cell is the smallest geographical coverage area of a GSM network. The area covered by a BTS is called a cell. BTS coverage area is generally divided into three subcells called sectors. As already we have discussed in earlier sessions or lectures. So generally the base stations are divided into 3 sectors. A number of such cells, base stations, are grouped to form a location area. So a group of base stations, the area covered by a group of base stations is known as location area. The next, BSC, base station control area, the area covered by a base station controller. BTSs are further connected to BSC as we have seen in the earlier lecture of GSM architecture, base station controller. A base station controller controls a group of base stations. Thus, a BSC controls one or more location areas. So therefore, a BSC can control a group of base stations falling under one location area or more than one location area also. A BTS provides the radio resources to a GSM subscriber, but the resources are provided with the control functionalities or the intelligence that is incorporated in the BSC. As we have seen, the BTS gives the radio resources to GSM, that is the radio channel, within the radio channel a time slot. So this is provided by BTS under the directions, under the supervision of base station controller, because this is the intelligent network element in the base station subsystem BSS. So control functionalities and intelligence is incorporated in the BSC when compared to BTS. MSC, local switching area. In order to serve number of subscribers in a local switching area, that is, local switching area means something like states. We generally have more than one MSC. In a state, we have more than one MSC. Here I have given some example. I have taken BSNL Andhra Pradesh as a example, and I will try to explain here. These MSCs are placed at different locations in a state, like Vizag, Guntur, Tirupati, Warangal, and Hyderabad in the combined AP, Andhra Pradesh, LSA, local switching area of BSNL. In BSNL, for example, we have MSCs at Vizag, Guntur, Tirupati. In Telangana area, Warangal and Hyderabad, and so on. So as far as telecom is concerned, the erstwhile AP or the present Telangana and the present AP together is considered as a single unit. Okay, LSA is generally represents a state. This we have discussed many a time. The local switching area is represented by a state. Each state generally is known as local switching area in telecom language. Now we will see the interfaces, the interconnectivity between different network elements and their names. Okay. First, we will start with the mobile station. The mobile station, first it is connected to base station or BTS. This is known as air interface and technically known as UM interface. The interface between BTS and mobile station is UM interface. Similarly, the base stations are connected to BSC, and the interface is known as A-BIS interface. A-BIS interface, the interface between BSC and BTS. Similarly, BSCs are connected to MSCs. The interface between or the connectivity between MSC and BSC is known as a interface. Interface is nothing but the transmission media or the signal transport media between two network elements. Generally, they are on, in the present scenario, they are on digital microwave or digital fiber optic network. Then this MSC is always co-located with VLR. So the interface between MSC and VLR is known as V interface. Here also you see another MSC and its VLR. This is known as interface V. Then in the architecture we also understood there will be one MSC which is designated as GMSC for interconnecting to other networks like PSTN or other operators network. So this interface between the gateway MSC and HLR, home location register, is known as C interface. And the interface between VLR and HLR is known as D interface. The name of the interface for the connectivity between VLR and HLR is known as D interface. Similarly, the interconnectivity between MSC and GMSC is known as interface E. And the interface between MSC and EIR, equipment ID register, identity register, is F interface. Then you can see the G interface. The interface between two VLRs. This is one VLR parented to this MSC. This is another VLR parented to this MSC. The interface between these two are known as, the interface between VLRs is known as G interface. So these are the different interfaces. Anyhow, we are not discussing in detail about all the interfaces and all, but just we are trying to understand the different nomenclature for different interfaces between different network elements in the GSM network. So we will summarize what we have discussed. One is handoff with umbrella concepts. Then we have seen the GSM structure. In that we have seen the cell area or BTS area, location area, LA, then the area covered by MSC bar VLR, which is known as MSC bar VLR area, then PLMN, public land mobile network area, that is the area served by a mobile service provider or telecom service provider with GSM network. And the GSM area, this is the area, entire area covered by any GSM user or by all the GSM, not users, providers, GSM service providers. Then we have seen the interfaces. A to G, we have seen different interfaces between different network elements of GSM network. So this is what I wanted to discuss in this session. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. So I have provided the link. This is my link. So thank you very much.